So apparently, HBO is bringing The Last of Us to the small screen. Let me repeat. The Last of Us is going to be a series on HBO. My nipple just got so hard saying that. All jokes aside, of course I am so goddamn excited for this. The Last of Us might be one of the best video games I've ever played. It got some of the most iconic stories and characters in the history of video games. So the creator of the miniseries Chernobyl, which I haven't seen, I didn't see or hear one bad review for that show. So the creator of that show, Craig Mazin, I think that's how you say his name, is teaming up with the director of The Last of Us and The Last of Us Part 2 coming out later this year, Neil Druckmann. The two of them are teaming up to make an HBO series based on The Last of Us video game. Now that's big news. That is huge. HBO is known for their, high quality, beautiful production design, just the amount of money that they put into these shows. You're talking about Game of Thrones, you're talking about Westworld, right? You're talking about all these critically acclaimed shows on this network, and to see a video game, a very beloved video game like The Last of Us, getting that treatment is kind of a dream come true. Every time we talk about, what video games should be adapted into movies, a lot of people, they would jump on The Last of Us. They would say, oh, The Last of Us, that's obvious. The most cinematic video game of all time. So obviously, The Last of Us, let's make that into a movie. I was one of the few people who thought that was a terrible idea. Terrible idea. Because The Last of Us is not a movie. You cannot make all of that, 15, 20 hours of video games, of story, of characters development, into a 2 hours movie. You just can't make that happen. That's why a lot of video game movies fail, because they try to compress everything into this 1 hour and 30 minutes or 2 hours, a little bit more than 2 hours movies. It just doesn't work. And I was one of the few people who was like, you know what, don't. Stop this. You do not make, The Last of Us a movie. It's a terrible idea and it's gonna fail. Let's make a TV show instead. Why not? They have chapters, they have different sections to the story, and you can take those sections and divide them up, into 8, 10, 13 episodes. Hell, divided that first game into 2 parts and make 2 seasons. And wait for The Last of Us Part 2 to come out and, make 2 more seasons, 2, 3 more seasons out of Part 2. Man, the possibilities and the potential is right there, and this show is gonna be so great. I'm telling you, man. But yeah, I was against the idea of The Last of Us movie for a very long time. Ever since I played that game, I was like, no. How can you people not see this as a very, very bad idea? The one thing that got me very, very excited about this series coming to HBO is that Neil Druckmann, the director of this, of the original video game himself, is part of the creative team. And with Neil Druckmann, overlooking all these creative aspects of the TV shows, it's gonna be one that would please a lot of the gamers. And because you have someone like Craig Mazin, who did a fantastic job with Chernobyl, you're gonna please critics as well. This is a win-win right here. Gamers and critics, they're gonna have something that they can both enjoy, if everything goes well. Obviously, it is very early in the process, and we don't know who's they're gonna cast, but if they could get Hugh Jackman as Joel, man, I'm just sitting here thinking about all the potential casting choice that I get. Oh man, I got some good ones. So there it goes. That's my my take on the Last of Us coming to HBO as a series. I am obviously very excited. I've been against the idea of making The Last of Us into a movie. I've always been an advocate for The Last of Us TV show instead, and to see is coming to fruition is a dream comes true. Obviously, I have some concerns, being a big fan of the video game, but with Neil Druckmann in the team, I think this is going to turn out great. I really do believe this is going to turn out as one of the best video game ever. So guys, in the comment section down below, let me know how you feel about this news. Let me know how you feel about The Last of Us coming to HBO. And who would you cast as Joel's and Ellie? Let me know as well. I would love to hear it. And if you enjoyed my video, hit the like button and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. With that being said, I'll see you soon.